Game number 4 between Happy and Sock in the best of 5 quarterfinals of the WC3 Champions, the WC Champions League. Something like that. Game number 4, best of 5, single elim, and Happy's on match point. Sock started off well with a 1-0 lead, but he has now fallen behind 1-2. On his first Archmage game, the debut of Archmage, he lost. It was pretty close though. We saw an Archmage double fast expand against Archmage against Lich, where Happy got mass upgraded gargoyles and eventually made a successful Fiend transition to clinch the game. With a lot of Coil Nova. I would like to say that no heroes were harmed in the filming of that video, but that would be a lie. It turned out Shallow Grave was indeed meant and dug for Sock. Now we're on Northern Isles. And are we going to see Archmage or Mountain King? It's gonna be Mountain King again. Okay. Back to Mountain King. Does that mean back to Lich Harass? You know, series like this are a great way to learn and understand the meta. The most effective tactic available at the highest level of WC3. Meta, of course, is not an acronym for most effective tactic available. It's what you call a backronym. Meta has its own meaning from Latin or Greek, but you can form the acronym of most effective tactic available, and it pretty much covers the meaning, but it's not how it was intended, so you call it a backronym, a backwards acronym. Kind of a funny term for it, but you can see how players develop and adapt to the situation, because if Happy were to once again not fast expand against Mountain King, then that would be proof of his philosophy of you should always aim to pressure Mountain King. But he is expanding, which means it could be map dependent. Maybe on map 1, 2, like let's say Amazonia. Amazonia is a very hard expanding creep camp because it's a rock golem 6, it's quite strong. And the map is small. That's why he didn't fast expand and he just pressured and all in on tier 2 with Gargs. And game 1, Concealed Hill is also a hard expansion camp, so he went to attack. This is an easier one, maybe that's why this time he goes for the Expo plus pressure. But Sock, sneaky little hobbits, has sent 3 footmen to do God's work and gets an initial cancel on the Haunted Goldmine. And he goes for a very quick Butsu speed while sending his militia to the expansion that have now not found their king present. The bannerman had been called, but the man that called them was no longer there, so they went home back to their wives and families, live to work another day. Does that mean Sock is gonna go tier 2? No. He's getting an Arcane Vault to do a very delayed, regenerated second attempt at expanding. And he knows he got the first cancel on the gold mine, so that's nice. Sells his slippers. Is he gonna buy a Staff of Teleportation? No? Oh. Why sell the slippers? It's armor and attack speed. Doesn't seem that bad. Doesn't look like he needed the money right now. Interesting. Mountain King travels out like the Rohirrim defending Helm's Deep. Travel out to meet the scary, spoopy enemy. And finally he gets... No, I don't think that's... Oh yeah, it is. It is. It's a full surround. Full surround. And by the way, this time Mountain King has Bash, not Thunderclap. Maybe he has realized that the amount of times that he wanted to Thunderclap ghouls, like on Amazonia, right? Remember what I talked about in previous cast, that on Amazonia he wasn't Thunderclapping ghouls even with maximum surface area against ghouls. Maybe he realized he's not going to clap anyway because it's all about PvP, hero v hero. Oh, that's a lot of red peasants. 2 are trying to get away, but the Lich is going to come in and clean up. Lich with the mop. That's a lot of dead peasants. 1 ghoul goes down, 1 ghoul gets away. Stellar micro by Happy. As I say that though, ghoul gives up on life. That's a lot of ghouls too. Holy. Ah! Yeah! But Lich does not dare to get too close again. One cheeky attack and then runs. Yeah, you know what? It's funny. Someone asked, isn't Bash better than Clap? And I explained why not. And then it's Bash. Alright. I'm a fair weather fan of the abilities. I see Happy do something, I see Sock do something, and I think it's probably for the best. I bet if my friend asked me to jump off a bridge, I would say Clap is better. And he gets the Lich. That's a level 4 Mountain King now against Lich level 2. You're gonna hit that Bash in it. Yeah. They're keeping me on my toes, yeah. Solo ghoul attack to get even more peasants. Sock has gone to tier 2, which is actually an incredible timing. That's a 6-minute 40 tier 2 timing, despite losing upwards of 6 peasants. He also killed ghouls, but that doesn't give you any money. And happy with the very expensive tavern repurchase of the Lich. You know, I don't know anyone more willing to buy heroes from the tavern than Happy. Orc players hate rebuying from tavern because we have no mana generation techniques outside of spending money for it, like Clarity. At least Undead has Dark Ritual, which I guess is kind of like Clarity because you're still eating summonables via the Rod of Necromancy, so you're still spending money on mana. Eventually you get Obsidian Statue that does give you more mana regeneration. But orcs, I'll tell you what, orcs, the penguin with the body block. I know, like, sometimes animals in the animal kingdom, they like take a shine to cross-species babies because their mother instincts are still strong, like they just had their own egg or something. I think that penguin just lost their own child to a walrus, saw the little ghoul, and its mother instinct just went crazy and started body blocking. And what a tragedy then to see that ghoul fall nonetheless on the cruel isles of the Northern Isles. Anyway, Happy is a compulsive tavern rebuyer. We see second crypt again, which it could be ghouls, could be fiends, but I have a feeling it might be gargoyles again. This time though, unlike the other games, Mountain King is the king of the game. With the best hero levels, the freshest clothes, the coolest friends, and the best drip. He's level 4.5 already. He's gonna pick up an item of great worth. It's a belt of giant strength. How much is giant? It's +6. That's almost as big as a Starbuck Venti. Has regeneration scroll. Wants to use it, does use it, runs away from the Lich, who could come in and cancel it. And what's he making? Paladin, Castle. It feels so comfortable to a degree that we haven't seen yet for a game for Sock. Like, this is the best early game he's had so far. However, he is still up against an expansion, so anything is possible. Couple of peasant kills. Don't think Sock has a shredder. So peasants do matter. He has the improved lumber harvesting upgrade that you only get if you're not looking to get a shredder. Because they're two different ways to do the same thing. Invis potion. And I think Sock was looking at his peasants. So he assumed the Lich went around the corner and he just forgot. It's like an episode, it's like the movie Memento, just short-term memory loss. But in this case, it was inattention. He's gonna do a Nova. He waited till he had a double peasant kill. Staff's home. A little bit of mischief. Must have been the wind. Body is still warm. Must have been the wind. Bam! That was a bash too on the Acolyte. He can get out. Just kill the ghoul. Bolt it. Hit it. Attack the skeleton. Hit it. Oh, actually... Oh, a value surround after all. Now, did he double tap TP? That means MK could be stuck at home. No, he did a mindful TP. Little bit of efficiency loss there for Sok. Does not drop his belt when he holy lights him. Not a Dota player, I see. I and Gabe are not pleased. Holy lights without dropping the belt. I really like this Mountain King first play against Lich. I like it too, Mamak. But I hesitate to say it's Mountain King play against Lich. Simply because whenever you make it, you don't know what your opponent's gonna make. It's like this unfixable flaw in Warcraft 3 that you can't counter your opponent's hero with your hero because you make it at the same time. But yeah, at this point it's virtually guaranteed that Happy is gonna go Lich first because he's been doing it for so much. So in this game I would say like, yeah, okay, fair enough. This is Mountain King against Lich. It's pretty much all Lich recently. And yeah, I like it too. Realizing that the Undead Human matchup is definitely facilitated by expansions and units, but is eventually often decided by the power of your heroes, it makes sense to go MK Pala Blood Mage, who have a greater PvP value than that stupid man on a horse. The only problem usually was it can't get off the ground because it dies to Mass Gargoyle Rush, like on Amazonia, or you take too much damage while expanding to the Lich or the DK Ghoul Skeleton attack. But Sok has gained enough fundamental skill, mechanical prowess, to be able to do a clean expo, even though he's losing a lot of peasants, but that's unavoidable. Clean expo was the problem. Why don't he suicide his units against creeps? Yeah, it'd be better, right? But what if you send them to the red spot and then Happy is there and collects all the free XP? He needs to separate his Mountain King away to give more XP to Blood Mage and Paladin. Far enough away, and he does. I am satisfied. Now he could come back in, do a bit of damage and then leave again to creep faster, but he doesn't do that. It offers very little extra advantage because if you like miscalculate and Mountain King does enough damage, but then you're able to kill the creep before Mountain King goes out of XP range, you have to wait to kill the creep, and then you might as well have not sent in the MK for extra damage. So he just left it out. Simpler, honestly. Paladin is 3, Blood Mage 1. He's got a whole contingent of flying machines, 2 attack upgrades for the flyings, flak cannon, animal war training. First knights are coming out. Happy's at Oath, 2 upgrades, 2 armor again for his air. This time going for a very fast third base. Sok, not yet. Hasn't crept the red spot. Instead is going to attack the third base. His hero levels are good. Very good. And he's got more flyings than there's Gargs. I think Sok can just straight up crush this fight. Be nice to micro the flyings a bit more, but honestly he's got the numbers advantage. I think he kills this base. And if Happy stays, I think Happy loses a hero. Lich gets attacked. No Orb of Fire. Oh wait, he does. On Mountain King. But Mountain King doesn't apply Orb of Fire nearly as easily as, say, an Archmage because he's melee. He also naturally attacks Gargoyles because any Orb of Fire hero has a ranged attack. When they're melee, they're gonna get in range of air before they ever meet a ground unit. So if you want Mountain King to like attack the Lich, it has to be a manual attack, not attack move. Uses Bolt to get more suck. Remove more mana, which is nice. Looks like Sok has enough staying power to take over this place. Yeah, there we go. I didn't see it yet, though I have to admit maybe I heard it subliminally, that patter of making the towers. But I was gonna say, I think he can do a brazen hostile takeover. Sok is Activision, and this base is Vivendi and Blizzard. And he's gonna get all the shares in this base. Guards and flying machines in Mortal Kombat. Oh! Damn! That is whack. Lich almost goes down. Is he just gonna Holy Light the Lich again? Or does he need it for something else? Might need it for the Blood Mage. That was a bolt. Can get banish. Now he can do a banish bolt attack, but first he needs to give mana to Mantiking. But he's getting attacked, so he can't. Happy's defense is actually so good. Is he holding? He killed almost every flying machine. There's only a couple of knights, but there goes the big suck on the Mantiking. So much mana. Stormbolt on the Death Knight. We have only one Staff of Sanctuary so far. Knight goes down with the Frost Nova. Second Knight does get the Paladin's Holy Light. The towers are here, but have not been upgraded yet. Orb of Fire naps a nice little gargoyle kill. Nice early D-shield to prevent getting blown up. No, goodbye! Oh, the Lich got banished, Holy Light bolted to an inch of his life. There was no coil on the Death Knight anymore, so he took it down once it came out of the banished Shadow Realm. Sok kills the Lich for the second time this game. Myths had been written about Happy's Lich dying, but it never happens. It just passed into legend, but we are seeing in real time Lich dying twice. That's got to be the death knell for Happy, no? Lich has been Tavern rebought. Tower gets attacked. Nice early D-shield again on Paladin. Also partially to protect the clarity that's working underneath it. Towers go down again though. This whole fight on Blight. Which is right for Happy, but frightful for Sok. That's a lot of bonus regeneration. We're talking Unholy Aura, statues, Blight. That early third base by Happy is the threat of economic advantage, while forcing an advantageous fight on Blight. I can't believe that after all that effort, Happy is once again retaking the base. Hostile takeover prevented. Man, if Happy was in charge of Blizzard... Well, if Happy was in charge of Blizzard, Acolytes would be invulnerable while mining. That was his balance suggestion. When they're gathering from the gold mine. But let's say if he was like not making gameplay decisions, he would have never let Activision take over. He's not letting Sok take over this base. Actually, as I say that, he just sold his final shares in that base. While Sok is looking to do another acquisition of a small indie camp in the bottom right. The Magnetar Reaver. Level 8. It's a double A indie. Not single A. They both have their eyes on the newest talent, the final camp on the map. Stormbolt on Dreadlord. Flying machines with their double attack upgrades. Cleaving into the destroyers. Wait, where did they come from? The flying machine had a voice line. They came from somewhere. Chat. Where did they go? Where did they come from? Where did they go? Sideways behind. Okay, thanks. Oh, from behind. Ah, they came from in front. Okay, cheers. So once again, Sok throwing up towers. Erecting towers in the top left of the map. As Happy's Acolytes are clapping him. Nice D-shield on the Paladin. I believe he did a coil block on the Paladin. There's a Siphon Mana on the correct Dreadlord. The illusion entirely ignored. Flying machines cleaving away. One Gargoyle goes down. Second guard, third guard. Destroyer goes down. A coil on Destroyer feels like such a waste considering the air supremacy that Sok is exhibiting here. They came from in front. A very desperate Nova on the Paladin that's still full life. But you gotta make a start. Will Smith said, I'll keep my wife's name out of your damn mouth. But he also said, you build a wall brick by brick. You don't suddenly have one. Which I guess is also a quote he took from someone else. I guess I can stop crediting him for it. But anyway, you don't build a wall in a single hour. You put down a brick. And then another brick the next day. And then you realize you forgot the cement. So you take off the brick, put cement in between. Nice invul on the Blood Mage. Though I think Blood Mage may die, no? What do you guys think? It died. The coil cooldown became available again before the Stormbolt was, so he couldn't coil the Death Knight. But now he can. Oh no, he self-blocks! Oh, it doesn't matter! Do they have... Yo, did you guys see that knights have swords in their left hand? Flaming swords? Like the Dothraki? Even though they died like mother truckers. Because they just ran into the Walking Dead alone. So dumb. But anyway, do you see they have swords? And they just hit with their swords. And then they have a lance in their right arm that they never use. For that particular attack against Baron Rivendare, I think they actually did an illicit lance attack. Because that DK was like 300 range away from the knights. And their melee attack still procced. Because he body blocked his own Mountain King away from being able to take down Arthas. But then the knight is like, no problem. For the king. Chunk. Lance attack. Pass the game. Cheating investigation. That was a great strategy. Put all your artillery in front and send in the cavalry with no support. Exactly. I think they were still seasick from the poisonous water trip, General Stan. It's okay, they came back for some reason after she took the throne. Yeah, they all undied. Oh my god. By the way, if you guys like hating on our favorite shows and how they turned out, I definitely recommend Rings of Power review. There was one that compares Rings of Power to the Lord of the Rings. And why the story is shite, comparatively. It was so good. Definitely scratched my hate itch, which I needed to do. No way, I need that video. Okay, message me after this game and I'll link it to you. It was so good. Like, they talk about how, like, the story is built up between Legolas and Gimli, and how, like, they don't get along, but for the sake of the quest, eventually they do. And when someone dies or seems to die, it's emotional because of reasons. And then you see, like, Galadriel in Rings of Power that, like, has zero respect for any of her teammates that she's been, like, traveling with for, like, 1,000 years. She doesn't even consult them, and she climbs ahead of them and stuff. And then when they're in trouble, they're getting absolutely gobsmacked by the cave troll. She just watches. And then finally she one-shots the troll after they're all dead. And then when she one-shots them and does her victory celebration, they're all alive again and unhurt and unscarred. And plus you don't care about any of them because none of them are real characters. They're just caricatures. Anyway, it's such a good YouTube comparison video. Very satisfying. You just don't understand a girl boss. I like girl bosses. If they work for the challenge and if they overcome difficulty like every Lotter character does, male or female. Right? It's not about gender, it's about the challenges and the likability of the character. Yeah, I'll link the video after this one. I think we're still in this video. It's just shitty writing. It's just shitty writing. Lich, level 5. 4.5 DK, 4.1 Dreadlord. Mountain King is 6.6. And I completely talked over the avatar usage. Now on a 1 minute cooldown. One destroyer. There's a Stormbolt on the Lich. Oh, the Blood Mage! You know, I think Carrion Swarm missed. If it actually hit, that Blood Mage could have been dead. Ah. Dude. I remember the first time Happy smashed me with only heroes when I still had a large army. I was so sad. I had like 70 population Raider Headhunter Kodo back in 2009. I have like Farseer Shadow, 60, 70 pop Raider Kodo Headhunter Bat, and he's got just 3 heroes and 2 statues, no units anymore. I have more than double his population and I just died to 3 heroes. Is that what we're gonna see here? Knights are not exactly headhunters. And Mountain King is cooler than Farseer. Undead in a shell nut, yeah. Can he get this around though? Pretty good body block with Paladin. I feel like he had a little bit more in him. Oh, Siphon on the Mountain King. Siphon the Mountain King. Do it. Do it now. And he has got enough for a Stormbolt, I think. But undead heroes are so fast. He slipped away. Like a knight in the sea. In the night? Fish? Like a knight in the fish. No, like a knight in the ship. There we go. He slipped away like a knight in a ship. Like the Dothraki. Or was it ship in the night? Can he get this around? There's some good statue anti-blocking. D-shield is available. He uses it. Holy light on the Blood Mage. 2 knights passing in a ship. Ahoy!
A player's forces are under attack.
Like a knight in the shit. Yeah. Something like that. Now Happy's gonna find out that Sok... He's gonna find out that Sok made a base. Oh god. If he doesn't get this surround, I'm gonna baby rage. This is a really easy surround to get. Wah! Wah! Must have been lag. Still though, the extreme superiority of units here has got to count for something, no? Even if the deft little surrounds miss. These are the dumbest knights ever. But eventually, even a broken clock. BAM! Hit it very hard. Oh, wah, wah. No, he gets coiled again. No, wah, wah. Dude, if Happy wins this, I'm gonna be mortified. I'm gonna be rigor mortis. Dude, this is disgusting. It's very skilled though by Happy. Very frustrating for Sok, no doubt. He's got no mana left. He's bleeding knights. Ah, that was a great stop. Final half second. And he does have a mining base in the top left. So, while he's losing units, and Happy hasn't mined in a good couple of years, he can replace units. Things get harder though. Once Death Knight gets level 5, it's gonna get harder. It's a higher level coil. Oh, going in for a cheeky invulnerability potion. That's so much damage. It's a Banish Holy Light and Stormbolt on the DK. Drops so low. Not quite dead, but very close. Paladin level 5 would be pretty huge as well. Ooh, Mountain King 7. That's bash chance, isn't it? I think the bash effect is 25 damage and a stun. I think it's the chance that goes up. 15%, 30%, 45%. Or is it 40? Is it 40 or 45? Is it 20, 30, 40 or 15, 30, 45? Oh, it's 20, 30, 40. It doesn't upgrade that generously, does it? Oh! But remember, Coil also does bonus damage on Banish. Another failed surround. 2 failed surrounds. Cringe. Very cringe. Stormbolt. Bam! And stops the Blood Mage. That's it. GG! We got a 2-2. We're going to game number 5 rubber match, man.